Okay, Utah Division, welcome to the team and welcome to the team meeting. Some of you I've met, I got a chance to meet a lot of you at the SLDM yesterday, the meeting we had in my office, and I just want to say welcome again, and I'm excited about what we're building towards for the rest of this summer. And this time of year is a really special time in our business. The summer is the high point or the big time for our business, and it's not because we sell less or more Cutco any particular time of year, but it's the reality of the situation. Many of you are college students and you're probably off of school for the summer and looking to make a lot of cash and looking to make a lot of money. And welcome. You found your way to our business, and it's an amazing business. I've been in the business now for 20 years. In June, actually 1 month from today will be my 20-year mark in our company. And I still remember going to my interview, and I still remember going to my training and some of the experiences I had my very first summer in Vector. I'm going to talk about that in a minute. But this time of year is special because your office is building a team. Your manager is building a team. You probably see your manager and you're wondering if they ever sleep, if they just, plug into the wall and somehow get recharged. And I'll tell you, your managers are working hard this time of year. It's kind of like a farmer works really, really hard in the springtime, and they plant and they nurture the seed and then the seeds and the crop, and then it grows, and then there's a huge harvest. And that's kind of what this time of year is. So your team is building. Your manager might even be asking you to help out by referring friends to the job or by going out and advertising at whether it's the mall or the movies or a high school graduation, or they're asking you to bring people on the team because the biggest team will win the competition and the biggest team will always sell more Cutco. And that's clearly true in our business and in any business. The largest teams, Starbucks sells a lot of coffee because they have a huge army of baristas and a huge army of stores. And it's the best time of year for us. We really capitalize a lot in the summer. I made a lot of money my first summer, and I wasn't even the top rep on my team or in my office, and yet I made a lot of money. I still remember my experiences that I had that summer, and it's a great opportunity. Also, what it means is while we're building, we're actually building and looking for leaders. We're looking for new assistant managers. We actually have 20 new assistant manager positions that our division is looking to fill by probably the end of July, if not the end of August. We want to fill our offices that we will have all throughout the year with really solid people. So if you haven't talked to your manager, or if your manager hasn't talked to you about your advancement opportunity and it's something you're interested in, you definitely want to talk to your manager about it, because I learned a ton as a young manager in training. I still remember some of the experiences I had going to some management meetings in my office as well as in our division. I got to meet the division manager, which I'm really looking forward to meeting a lot of you if I haven't met you yet at my office. Although I did get a chance to meet a lot of you on Tuesday. So I've got 3 tips that I want to share with you about the rest of the summer. It's really the beginning of the summer. Your manager's been working hard, and that's one of the reasons you're on the team. But your managers are continue to work hard to build their team, and you guys just got started, and at least a lot of you did. So I have 3 tips for you to have a successful summer, a summer that you'll never forget, a summer where you can make $2,000 to $5,000 to $10,000, and even more than that if you really step up to the plate. The first tip I have for you is use the tools that you have available. And there's a lot of tools that you have that you may not realize are really tools designed for your success. So I'm going to list off a few of the tools that are really going to be helpful to you. The number one tool that you have at your disposal, absolutely, is your sample kit and your training manual. And you've probably heard that 100 times, but if you open your store or get in front of a lot of customers, you're going to sell a lot of Cutco because the program works, the product is amazing, and your customers love the product, and all you need to do is show up and bring your knives with you. Okay, so that's number one, is use your sample kit often and use your training manual all the time. Second thing is use your manager. Your manager literally trained for the position. They just didn't get randomly put into that position. They earned their position, and they worked really hard to advance through our company leadership process, and they're running an office in your town because they're great at what they do, and they have a lot of goods to offer you, way more than you learned in training. They've got even more to continue to help you succeed this summer. The basics is number one, but they also know a lot of extra things that will help you. So trust whatever they tell you and realize that they're going to be there for you, and they have your back. They're here to work for you, and they came to your town in many cases to work for you. Second thing I have is PDI, and that's part of using your manager, is calling in a lot. Never be afraid. At my other jobs, I avoided calling my other job, but here in Vector, the more I called, the more money I made. The more I talked to my manager, the more I was able to use that tool. Another thing is using Vector Connect. and there might be an office Facebook page. Both the office Facebook page or Vector SLC page for that matter, as well as your office Facebook page and the Vector Connect website. There's actually audio files, video files that you can, like 2 in the morning. I don't think you should be up that late, but any time of day you can for sure use Vector Connect to learn how to do your job better. If you need to work on referrals, phone, closing the sale, managing your time properly, work on your demo, there's all sorts of resources on the Vector Connect. Another thing is your team meetings. Just realize team meetings are there for you. We don't get paid to go to the team meetings. It's an investment of our time. Our managers invest their time to help you, and I invest my time to help people on our team. Another thing is Champions Club. Again, it's a sacrifice. It's like going to the gym. It is a sacrifice to get your mattress off your back and get to the gym in the morning, but the people that go to the gym in the morning look really good in a bikini when they want to, okay? So make sure you go to Champions Club. It's like a highlight of my day in our office, getting able to talk to not just all the reps, but all the reps that really want to succeed and frankly kick butt at the job. They're at Champions Club on a daily basis, and that's one of the reasons why the Salt Lake City office really is having our best summer and our best start to the summer, probably, if not ever, literally in a decade. We're having our best summer ever in the month of May, and we're building towards even bigger and better things in June and July and August. Another thing that's part of the tools that you have at your disposal is the SLDM meeting. If you didn't make it to the one that we had just barely on Tuesday, you have another one opportunity on June 10th to get invited. June 10th, let me make sure. Yes, June 10th, the next SLDM in my office. And you got to get to that meeting. But before that, we actually have the division meeting coming up this Monday from 11 to 2:30 in the Salt Lake downtown office. And your manager has all the details, but make sure you make it to that meeting. By the way, some of you are contending for a trophy right now. The top 5 reps and the top assistant manager and the top 2 offices are going to come away with a trophy. I think I'm actually in love with the trophies that we have for this meeting. I'm really fired up about them. And then the next thing is SC1. It's the first and the best event of the summer up until this point. The SC1 conference is coming up on June 16th at the Miller Entrepreneurial Center at the Miller campus for Salt Lake Community College. Here in Sandy, Utah, and it's going to be an amazing event on June 16th. I believe it's 11 to 6, and there's a lunch provided. There's Cutco that you get for going. There's an investment, obviously some funds, but it's not a big deal. Talk to your manager if you haven't been invited to it. So that's my first tip, is use the tools you have at your disposal. Second thing is to be open to growing this summer. You're going to grow anytime you do something that's tough. And I'll tell you, this job was actually tougher than any job I had before Cutco. And we worked at Walgreens. I worked at a telephone marketing or telesurvey place. I did construction. I did a little bit of landscaping. I shoveled horse manure, okay, in the stables. Is another thing I did for a short period of time. And all of those things were maybe physically demanding, but this job was actually mentally, and I would say even spiritually and physically demanding. But I made a lot more money, and I really grew from the opportunity. And a lot of times people tell you, oh, the job isn't for you, or maybe you shouldn't be a ballerina, maybe you shouldn't try to go into acting. And you know what? The naysayers in the world are usually the ones that wind up getting, frankly, I'm going to say, laid off or don't really have a future in a lot of the things that they would love to do. You ever see that bumper sticker that used to exist that it used to say, I'd rather be hunting or I'd rather be fishing? Well, then, you know what? Go fish or go hunt. If you want to do those things, go do those things. And one of the things that's great about Vector is you have flexibility. It's the biggest, most exciting thing that most people love about the job. It's also the biggest and most tough challenge of the job, is you have to actually harness your own potential. And I think that's a really great thing, because you know what? Your life does get even more complicated as you grow in the business. So second tip is be open to growing personally and be open to learning new things in our business, because you can do those things. And trust me, I think you all know the skills you're going to gain with Vector are going to be skills that you'll have for the rest of your life. And you'll take them with you when you're the Cub Scout den mother, or when you're the soccer pool coordinator, or when you're a dentist, a doctor, a self-practitioner, a lawyer, anything you're going to do for the rest of your life. And then the third thing that I'm going to say is to start working. and start working. You know, we had Michaela Brandon just a few weeks ago. She worked really hard for 3 or 4 days and sold $5,500 in her first weekend on the job. And she did more appointments than anyone else in her group, and that's why she sold over $5,500 in her first weekend. And her first paycheck was over $800, and then or $900, excuse me. Matt Manalga sold over $4,200 in his first weekend. His first paycheck was $800. Landon Davis just barely this weekend in our office sold over $6,000 in his first weekend in the job, and his first paycheck's going to be over $1,000. He's a brand new rep at the lowest percentages. Some of you are making more money than that already, and maybe you haven't gotten a first comma paycheck, but when you get a comma in the numbers of your paycheck, it's because you worked hard, and that's really what it's all about. There's a guy in the North Star division in the Minneapolis area, sold, his name's Orion, and he sold $17,000, or if it wasn't that, it was $19,000, made $4,700, earned $4,700 in 10 days. And one of the reasons that he did that is there was ups and there was downs. All of you have experienced ups and downs already in this job, but he totally committed to growing. Is that my second tip, right? And then he really worked hard. He did a lot of appointments, and he totally committed to his fast start. You know, the things I want to mention about that and working hard and totally committed, maybe being totally committed, is maybe you didn't do that in your fast start. And your results probably mirror the amount of commitment that you had in your fast start. So let me go ahead and say that if you totally commit to the next 5 days, let me go ahead and say it's Wednesday night. Last week, if you think about how many demos you did, the week went from Monday to Tuesday, which was an 8-day week. And if you take the number of demos you did in that 8-day week, you probably didn't do more than 15. And if you did, you probably were on the national newsletter or maybe the region, top 20 reps in the region. But the reps that do the most demos in 8 days, here's what I think. You could probably do the number of demos you did in 8 days last week, because some of you didn't probably work on Memorial Day weekend. You didn't feel like you needed to, and maybe you had family activities. What's great is all your customers may have had that, and you may have been frustrated by some of that. What I would do is bounce back and realize that everyone that had stuff going on Memorial Day isn't having Memorial Day this weekend, and you probably could do the same number of demos you did in 8 days in 5. So if you count Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, we have the division meeting from 11 to 2:30 on Monday, but you could do demos all after that division meeting. Talk to your manager. You may be invited to a special event after the division meeting called an MVP event right after the division meeting, since you'll be there anyway, and I can meet with some of you, and you'll get possibly invited to that. But you could do demos on Monday night, and counting Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then Monday night, you could probably in 5 days do as many demos as you did in 8. And if you do, you're going to have a huge push period report, and you can actually get a trophy at the division meeting, and then you can get invited to SC1 again. If you haven't signed up, if you haven't been invited officially, make sure you get signed up. SC1 is the best event of the summer. Up until that point, it's a stepping stone to create the biggest summer you've ever had in income, the biggest summer you've had in personal growth, and when you get out of high school, it's time to grow. And that's what I love about the business. Some of you guys have been out of high school for more than a year or whatever. I've been out of high school at least, a couple minutes, And so start working, and let's make it a special week, and let's make it a great summer. I'll talk to you soon.